Hi everyone, it's Grania from Solid Solutions Ireland, and today we're going to have a look at some more of the what's new in SOLIDWORKS 2015. Today we're going to focus on simulation and flow simulation. So first up, we can now view nonlinear results during the run. So this is going to be a massive time saver. I'll show you exactly how it's done. My SOLIDWORKS is completely set up to default settings as if I just installed it yesterday, just with some templates added in, and I have all these parts loaded on my machine. So I'm going to show you this first. We're then going to go on to the new load case manager, which is just a really simple way to now check out all your loads and the cases and how they're managed. We've got a new frequency response graph. We can now control that with mode number, an EMPF or CEMPF. We also have dynamic results in fatigue studies. So we're going to look at all these things and then we'll come back and look at the rest of the new things in SOLIDWORKS simulation. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this part is just simply run. As you'll notice, as I run, I've got a dynamic response. You can see exactly what's happening as your model is going through your setup. So it just saves a lot of time. You can notice straight away if there is something gone wrong or something not acting as you've expected. You can actually click cancel, go back, edit, and do whatever you wish with it. So we'll go through the whole way and let you see what it's doing. So again, just an absolute massive time saver, so you can correct things immediately if you see anything going wrong. Just let it go the whole way through to let you show that it does actually complete. And there we go. So that's our first thing. Next up is the new load case manager. So we're going to go into a new part and have a look at that now. So in the past, it's been a challenge to analyse models subjected to a large number of load conditions. In 2015, we now have a new load case manager over here, so it's default in your setup as well. I can go in here, have a look and view it, edit my definitions. So we can see that we have a torque in here. We can easily add more, take them away, we can do whichever we want. So I'm going to delete one of them now and I'll add another torque. So I'll just delete this torque. And I'm going to go ahead and just add it so you can see exactly how to add one. So it's very simple, just a thing of typing. Over here I can select my torque, got 50. We even have these filters up here to show and hide the connectors, to look at the loads, any of the forces or fixtures, and even no filter at all. We can also load case combinations, so if I click in here we can even use all different types of equations. So all of the information I've already given it, it's picked up on, and I can go ahead and use those to have a new load case. So we can go for our 20 gram vertical, that's 2 by our torque. We can use our equations and make everything very clever and very useful. You can also track some critical performance information using sensors and compare the performances across the load cases. What we're going to do now is run it and then we'll have a look at our results. Results are going to be viewed in the same kind of format, they're just in the next tab over. Just wait for it to load up first. Okay, so our results are all here now, you can see them perfectly. So that's an extremely helpful new tool in SOLIDWORKS 2015. Okay, so next up is our frequency response graph, and then we've got our dynamic results in fatigue studies. So I'll show you these two things and then we'll go back to the next slide. When it comes to vibration analysis, durability and fatigue are common concerns. It's also beneficial to identify key characteristics for various vibration modes. So the new frequency response graph has been added to enable to review the mass participation for the modes. So this can help in identifying identifying the direction being excited by a particular mode, as well as the proportion. The fatigue study now supports random or harmonic vibration analysis as well. To create the new graphs, it's a simple right click on our results and we can define a frequency response graph. We can have it as an EMPF or a CEMPF. You can select them there, create new ones. So you can see exactly how it works and what's being affected. Seeing as fatigue studies now support loads from random or harmonic vibration analysis, specific frequencies can be chosen to perform a life cycle analysis, or multiple frequencies at different cycle amounts can be used to determine the cumulative damage. This is a great way of verifying the durability of our design. You can check out exactly how it was done here. So you can specify what frequency and the plot steps it takes. So new in SOLIDWORKS 2015 simulation are some improvements for managing properties of a shell structure. There's new shell manager. It's very easy to use. It's color coded. You get previews, you get to group your shells, and you can have shell self-bonding for not touching edges as well. So what we're going to do is have a look at all these things and then move on to the next slide. Okay, so let's have a look at this shell manager. So I've just opened a part here. I go over here, I can just right click and go to my shell manager. Down here we can have a colour on to see what colour everything is. It will colour code our part. So depending on your thickness or depending on the material, either or. So I can go for, click off my thickness there, go back to material. So if materials are one thing or another, they will change. You can also see all of your offsets in here. So you can see what's on bottom, what's on top, the name of the shell, everything to do with it in here. So it's extremely useful to see exactly what you're dealing with, especially when you're dealing with sheet metal parts. You can even get a preview of the offset on the part once you select it. In your shell manager, it will pop up on your graphics area. On each of our shells over here, we have a group. So if I drop down, I can go to manage groups. I can have a look at them. Once I click into them, it'll tell me the thickness depending on the group. So if you have a group that's all 5, for example, you can change everything in here. Very similar to how global variables work. So once it's grouped, you can change it. You can change the material for it. You can do as many things as you like. And of course, you can create new groups. You can have several. So once I changed one of them to 6, all the rest of them changed to 6. So that's how easy it is to use our shell manager. The next thing I want to show you is for a self-bonding sheet metal part. So previously in SOLIDWORKS, you would have had, it wouldn't have worked properly for you and they wouldn't have really understood it. However, now in 2015, we can see parts even with gaps in them react the way they should. So in 2014, this part here would also have been pushed back and acted badly with it. Now in 2015, that's no longer a worry. We can do all of those things, no problem. So our final slide for simulation, we can now use a self-contact on face contact point. And we can also do non-linear symmetrical symmetry and view all symmetrical results when the study has been run. So I'm going to show you these last two and then we'll finish up this video. So for models like this previously, we can now do we couldn't have done a self-contact on face. It wasn't possible. And it's important sometimes when you have parts with sweeps or lofted features or that have faces that can bend back onto themselves to have that there. This is now the default contact when there's a single face selected, so it avoids workarounds and avoids you having to split up faces. It's extremely useful. Let's run the study and see how it reacts. You can of course see all the dynamic immediate results as well as it goes through. There you go, there's our contact sets for self-contacting on one face. That's it completely finished, so you can see where the faces touch each other and how they end up. So due to lengthy solve times in nonlinear analysis, any means of simplifying a model is a fantastic benefit. So now in SOLIDWORKS 2015, we now support cyclic symmetry in nonlinear analysis. As in this case, we have only need one segment to perform the analysis, and we can see all the results we have come through perfectly. We also have options to display the whole result. So you can display our symmetrical results on our displacement plot, and there we go. You can see exactly how it's reacted in our whole part, rather than just the symmetrical part we cut out. Okay guys, so that's what's new in SOLIDWORKS Simulation 2015. Thanks for listening, and let us know if you have any other video ideas for us and we can try get through them. I do need to finish all the rest of the SOLIDWORKS 2015 What's New videos, and will be in the coming weeks. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and of course here on YouTube. All the links will be in the notes below. Thanks for listening.